Good
That's the most sense you've
evening.
said.
Welcome to Vape Talk UK Part 2. Audio, all your guys' audio is coming through. Mine audio is coming through. Everything looks fine and dandy. Mods, can you just double check for us just to make sure everything is as fine and dandy?
Not echoing and horrible and disgusting.
Everything works.
Actually working is just a bonus.
Yeah.
Looking sharp, Chandler. Yes, he is. It's the old beard is gone. Looking sexy.
I think they
Hey,
meant
hey.
but camera's not potato for once.
I haven't got the bollocks to do it again.
I'm never doing it again once this grows back. It's horrendous.
I've never done it. I've never actually fully clean shaven.
I wondered where that was going.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I've not fully cleaned. I've not fully clean shaven for years, and I did for November, and this is what's grown back, and it gives me a 5 o'clock shadow under my chin, which makes it look like I've got a double chin. I've just worked so hard to get rid of.
That's unlucky.
Well, there you go.
It is pretty
Does anybody
shit.
else miss Chandler's Billy Goat?
Yeah, a little bit.
I really miss that long thing that you used to have.
What about his beard?
Just when it was just off the chin. Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Chandler's kept it. He's just got it down his nether regions.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
Well,
He
like
would
one of them
suffer-
satchels that you put on front of a kilt.
Yeah, sporring.
Yeah.
Cass has got a what do you call it? A
Sasquatch.
Brazilian, but it looks like a fish finger.
Cracking. Well, some of you this evening may have had a message from me during the week. Thank you very much to everybody that came back and gave us your opinions and your views and everything else. And we sat down and we had a meeting last night?
No, it was last night.
Had a meeting last night. We spoke about the feedback that you gave. Don't worry, everyone that sent me a message, it was completely anonymous. Nobody knows that you slagged them off, so it's all good.
Yeah, we don't know.
I just hate you all.
We don't know who slagged us off. We know that you all slagged us off.
But no, we really appreciate that, and we're working hard now to make changes. Make changes and give you a bit more of what you want. So this is, as the title of the show is called, Control Alt Delete. This is, it's not a new show, it's not a different show. We're not changing. Just we're going to change the way we do things a little bit. Starting with a shorter news.
Yes.
Oh, no. Are we... Now, why, we're not going to spend the whole night justifying everything, are we? Okay, so there was a few people that said that they weren't a massive fan on what you're vaping on. So what we're going to do is, if anyone is vaping anything new, we'll talk about it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still vaping the two things, the same juice. So I'm not going to talk about it because it's same old. But if anyone's vaping anything new, then we will talk about it. But failing that...
Mine doesn't really need talking about, but I've bit the plastic off my Orion. No, my Nord. And it's so much... It fits in your mouth so much better.
Is there...
So much nicer.
Is there not carbs in that?
No, I didn't eat it. I didn't digest it. And in that, I've got this double drip salt shit, which
Nice.
I've been recently feeling a bit rough, so I went down to 20 milligram, and I've not pulled my hair out yet, so I'm sticking with it for now anyway.
Fair enough. If anyone wants a good tip for an actually quite decent basic tobacco flavour, I'm only vaping the mini fit, but the pod salt cigarette, as unassuming as it looks, is actually a really fucking nice tobacco vape. So get some of that, because if you want something simple that isn't full of biscuit and caramel and all sorts of other shit, the pod salt cigarette is a really nice little
And
vape.
if you want something really cool and really exciting, watch this space, because there's stuff to come. And I know Chris is pretty much already on it, but don't say too much.
No, I'm not going to say anything. It's just like, I ordered mixing supplies for the first time in about a year. That was a culture shock, because I was like, I remember when I first bought mixing supplies, I was like, oh, I need syringes, I need bottle. This time I'm just like, I need this and a bottle. I'll just slap it in and it will go. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Those of you that are mixers or dabble, we're actually going to bring a show to you next week that we're going to be talking about mixing and designing flavours, and I might even give you some hints and tips and some guidance. And for those of you that need it, of course, I don't need to patronise anyone. But yes, some exciting shit to come.
Jono's incredible at mixing, isn't he? He runs a potion. He runs a potions class at Hogwarts.
Well, for starters, it was Defence Against the Dark Arts, but anyway.
No, it wasn't. Someone hasn't watched the films for a while.
I'm not on something new, but I will be on something new, and I've just been sent, very kindly been sent the new range from King's Creams, Mr. James Drawbridge. So we've got Shamrock OG, which I'm guessing is like a minty custard. There's a raspberry custard there, and the OG cheese, which people have been posting about quite a lot. That's apparently a butterscotch custard, so I'm going to be banging on with them. I have got on to a few other people, and they are going to be sending me some stuff like that's going to be new, especially new. So hopefully we can get it to you guys before it actually hits the market. So that's what I've been doing since last night.
OG cheese sounds like a weed strain.
It does, or something you scrape off your bell end.
Yeah.
Swallow, bitch.
I'm on something new this week. I'm on something. I got the Bogan.
The blotter.
The blotto. Yes. Look at that. Doesn't it look fabulous? It is huge. Absolutely huge. I have tried it with the straight glass on, and the straight glasses actually holds quite a bit of liquid. I'm sure it's not 2 mil, but it vapes great. I've tried it with dual coil, and I've currently got it on a single coil 0.4, and it wicks really well. It vapes really well. I'm really pleased with it.
Enjoying it?
There you go. Thought I'd mention that one. And I've got talking of mixing, I've got a homemade cherry custard. I don't know why I'm waving a bottle with no label on it at the camera, but yeah, a homemade custard that I've
have you had the blotto?
What is it?
I did actually have it last week. I've had it about a week and a half, fortnight.
So you still is it your daily?
It is my daily. This goes to. I can fill that tank. That tank is like 6 mil, so I can fill that tank, go to work, and I don't need to refill it until I get home.
Can I just say,
which is nuts.
You have an uncanny ability to find the most strange-shaped bottles going. When you made those squonkers for everyone, those bottles were fucking weird as well.
What, the square bottle? These ones?
Yeah, they look like the soy sauce bottles you get with sushi.
They are the soy sauce bottles that you get with sushi. That is exactly what they are.
That's what I'm saying. You get these weird bottles. What happened to just the chubby gorillas or the little old 30ml bottles with the nipple caps?
Because that's an 120ml bottle that fits nicely into your jacket pocket.
Who wears a jacket?
Well, clearly Chandler does.
And all right, my inside pocket of my overcoat.
I can imagine you in the woods wearing nothing but an overcoat, you cunt.
Look, you have a phone that goes into your pocket, and that fits nicely in with it. So I put in 100. Have I got 120ml? There you go, 120ml in your pocket with a phone. Whereas that,
can I just
snug? You don't look like you're Pamela Anderson or something.
It's together like it's magnetic.
Can I just point out, Chandler, the fact that you said that the tank's so big that you can fill it up and it lasts you all day. Why are you even carrying a bottle of fucking juice with you?
Fair play. Fair play.
Redundant.
I get those.
Redundant.
I get those flat bottles. I understand them. I just couldn't use them.
Yeah, agreed.
Look, I'll be honest with you. The 60ml bottles are the ones
that looks a bit better. The other one's
that is just bonkers.
That'd be like when the iPhone come out, the iPhone 6, and everyone was bending them in their pockets.
Yeah.
Right. So in a lot of your feedback, you guys kind of basically all said that the news in its previous format was a total snooze fest. And to me, it did feel like it was getting a bit stale. So what we're doing is we're making it a little bit more original. You're still going to be getting vaping news. I'm still going to be reading shit at you, but it's going to be way more concise. So let's get on with it and let us know what you guys think. So first things first, biggest news this last week is that Apple have removed all of their vaping-related apps from the App Store. They said they'd taken this decision because of some growing official concerns about the impact vaping can have on health. But in a statement given to Axios, a news outlet, Apple said it agreed with official warnings about the negative health impacts of vaping, which is dumb, and the potential problems presented by the appeal of e-cigarettes to the young. They said they took great care to ensure that the App Store was a place people could trust to get programs for their phones, and that vaping apps via Apple's Store let people exercise control of some features of the e-cigarettes. Others simply kept up to date with news about vaping or offered themed games. Apple said anyone who already had a vaping app on their iPhone would be able to continue using it and transfer it to any Apple device. What do we think about this?
I think we should adopt Radio 1's Who every time someone mentions something that's completely irrelevant, because I think apps on phones, whilst they were very interesting for beginners when you were trying to learn how to mix liquids and you needed a calculator, they are very 2015. Do you not think?
I kind of had an argument with my missus about this because she decided to put her threepence in on the Facebook group.
And me.
I went downstairs, knocked her teeth out, and as she's picking her teeth up off the floor, it was a case of, well, do you...
said sorry?
No, after I'd hit her and she started picking her teeth up off the floor, she needed them to put them back in.
Okay.
But no.
Did she get the last two out of her shit?
I don't get that.
Did she find the last two teeth in her shit?
Oh, right, yes. No. It was a clean shot. It's irritating. Because if I want a coil calculator on my phone, I will have a coil calculator on my phone. I don't need fucking Jobsworth telling me I can't have a coil calculator on my phone. If I want to have a calculator for calculating how much nicotine that I need to put in I'll have it on my phone. I don't need telling I can't have it on my phone. That irritates me. Yes, Chris, you can have the talking stick.
No, I wanted to ask you a question. You're a teacher. What phone have you got, Mark?
A Huawei.
Why are you getting so annoyed about it? You can have a calculator on your phone. It's just another argument for Android users to claim their superiority.
Yeah.
I'd say, right, anyone here, name 3 vaping apps that you have used or currently use regularly. If you can, you get to be annoyed about it. If you can't, you don't.
But I can, and I'm not annoyed about it. I had the Planet of the Vapes forum, I had a coil calculator, and I had an e-liquid calculator. And I've not used any of them for God knows how long.
Oh, Michael, that's just made me cry. Oops, I just realised what you mean. I thought no one with a mod was allowed in the Apple Store.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, they're checking everyone's pockets as they go into the shop.
No vaping in the shop. Love it.
Amazing. Right. So we don't really care about it, do we? Or do we care?
We do.
I care about the censorship side of things. I completely agree with you on that one, Mark. That I feel that too many people are being censored with their opinions, with their, being told they can't identify as a turtle. It's just not on.
And if you want
to...
Sorry, I'll just put Jimmy up. If you want to identify as a turtle, please do. Sorry, Chanda.
I was just going to say the trouble is with Apple is they've consistently they always vet their apps, don't they? If they don't meet Apple criteria, and that includes the content that there are, that it is. It doesn't get into the App Store.
Yeah, but to be fair, a lot of the quality of the apps that were used as juice calculators were fucking horrendous.
Not the point.
They were made by 7-year-olds.
Thing is, the app that I use the most, it's an Ohm's law calculator, and I don't search for it as a vape app. It's Ohm's law calculator. Are you telling me that Apple will have banned all Ohm's law calculators from the App Store?
I doubt it, because Ohm's law is used in electrical resistance. So, essentially, we're talking what will probably be missing will be forums, direct app forums like Planet of the Vapes, and juice calculators. But I'm presuming there will be some form of calculator for liquids on there. It just won't do the calculations for you. The thing is, if you can't work out after X amount of years of vaping, Chandler, what percentage of 72 milligram you need for 18 or whatever, you shouldn't really be.
I always used to work it out with a calculator anyway. It was just a hell of a lot quicker to go 72. That's how much I want. I just got lazy with it. That was all. It was quicker than doing it in the head.
I think a lot of it though was used mainly when you were developing recipes. I don't know about you, Mark, but when you were using 12 different concentrates and you're using a little bit of this, a little bit of that, then you needed a calculator. But if you're using a bottle shot or a nick shot or a whatever, you shouldn't need to calculate much apart from the amount of nicotine you put in. And most of the time, people were just using nick shots.
I found myself doing 120 takeaway 50. I'm like, why am I doing that on the calculator? I can do that in my head.
Right, let's move on. Next article, next headline. The headline is essentially smokers can improve heart health by switching. Seems pretty obvious, but smokers can improve the heart of their health within weeks of switching to e-cigarettes. The largest trial of its kind has shown. The month-long study of 114 smokers suggests vaping has the potential to reduce heart attack and stroke risk. The team at the University of Dundee stressed vaping was not safe, just less harmful than tobacco. It's a sentiment mirrored by pretty much everyone in the medical industry in the UK. The British Heart Foundation said stopping smoking was the single best thing you could do. Chemicals in cigarette smoke narrow the arteries as they get furred up with fatty deposits, increasing the risk of a deadly blockage. Ultimately, smoking doubles your risk of having a heart attack, but the researchers said that current evidence on vaping was very poor and often assessed the impact of a single cigarette on heart health. Is this a good study to be doing? Are these the things that we should be looking at? Is not just, is it better for you, but specifically individual conditions, heart, lungs, etc., etc. What do we reckon? John Orr.
Sorry, you caught me a bit off guard. Please pass the question.
I think that
I was literally in the middle of something.
Sorry. It was being disinterested.
Exactly what a teacher would have done. You look for the disinterested one and then you pounce.
It's not the disinterested one. It's killing.
Were you not paying attention?
No, I wasn't. Because I was actually in the middle of something to do with chat. But
it's all good. It's all good.
Sorry,
Mark,
I'll be on next one. Ask me next question.
Mark,
they're good. They're good for the industry. People are doing these tests. They're saying that what, it is safer. Okay, vaping isn't safe, as they quoted. Putting anything into your body that's not supposed to be there kind of isn't safe.
Drinking Diet Coke isn't safe.
Anything we do isn't.
of course not.
Hence the whole prop shit in California. Everything in California comes with a cancer warning. Even I've said about this on the show. When you go to Disneyland, you get what's called a magic band. Now, this magic band, you tap into rides, you everything's stored. You get into your hotel room, everything's on these magic bands, and these
it's an NFC
these
chip,
magic bands are designed for children, and they carry a prop warning to say that they may give you cancer. They're just covering their arses on everything. I digress. But No, I think these things are good. You know, any positive news is good news, even if it comes with a side dish of bullshit. Um, any news is better than no news. Any.
I would challenge them to test vaping emissions on top of in the Scottish Highlands versus the air that we breathe in London, and just to see which is purer, because I can almost guarantee that vapor is safer than the air in London.
They've done tests.
Become a Nazi, Cass.
I'm just trying to get this fucking thing to focus. I'm just zig-hiding through the show, just in case any accelerationists are out there.
I was just having a thought then.
Someone clip that.
If we were still, if we were still using, I thought
Chris has had a thought.
No, well, at first I thought he was giving me a virtual high five for my statement. I was like, that's a bit weird. I'm not reciprocating. I'm not reciprocating that. I'm not being a party to that weird sort of stuff. But no, if we were still using that same video, cast upside down, it really could be Beaker. But yeah, so I believe that 95% safer than smoking is it's overplayed by media that's trying to portray it in a bad light, but know that they can't get around not stating it. Does that make sense? When they say they know it's not safe, but it's safer than smoking. It's their way of saying 95% safer without actually saying 95% safer.
It's like saying you could go out and you could shag a hooker. It's not safe, but it's 95% safer than sticking your dick in a blender.
You were thinking of a comparison then.
I was struggling. I've got to be honest.
Yeah. But the only person who's at any danger when they stick their dick in a blender is you, Mark, because mine wouldn't reach the blades.
Fair comment.
Take that one.
We'll get you a bullet. The next bit of news. I'm quite impressed by this. I quite like this.
Right. So when I wrote this, because like what we're trying to do with this is we're trying to get news that hasn't been all over Facebook. And when I wrote this, it had only been I think I found it on the internet an hour after it was posted. But you probably have seen this today. So President Trump has reversed the flavor ban. President Donald Trump has reversed plans to ban flavored e-cigarettes amid a national youth vaping crisis, the US media have reported. He announced plans for a ban in September, but reportedly decided not to enact it this month because of a possible job losses and voter pushback. Thousands of lung injuries have been attributed to vaping this year, and Trump said last week that he would meet industry and medical professionals to find an acceptable solution. Children's health and safety together with jobs will be a focus, he tweeted on the 11th of November. Trump decided not to sign off on a decision memo, fearing potential job losses and voter anger, the Washington Post reported. The New York Times also reported that allies working for the vaping industry had warned him that such a move could cost him support. So I personally think this is a election ploy, if you like, because I think it's been made aware to him that there are a lot of voters out there who will vote based on this alone.
Have you not seen this is a direct attribution to the We Vote, We Vape
of course it is
campaign.
Yeah.
They did Washington DC rallies on the 9th of September, and thousands of people turned up outside Washington, and they all stood with picket signs and spent fucking hours there screaming "We Vote, We Vape" or whatever they were shouting, and their voices got heard. So I think this is actually a fucking hats off to them. I've seen a lot of people. Some friends of mine are heavily involved. Jamie Hall, he owns Top Notch Vapor out in Ohio. He's been a big advocate of it. I've seen a lot of stuff on his pages. It was recently brought up, I think, by Rip Trippers in his "I'm quitting vaping" video. But yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a real win. I think it's it's an actual advocacy has actually paid off. If all of those numbers hadn't turned up to Washington and hadn't protested, I don't think it'd be on his radar half as much as it is. And it is an election ploy, but it's also part of the fact that he knows that, don't shit where you eat. Do you know what I mean?
The problem is, good evening, Andrew, just in time for the American news. But I want to know, right, so he's going against a nationwide flavour ban. However, these statewide bans are still in place.
Yes.
They're run by individual senators and individual representatives.
Now, what I want to know is if they, let's say New York, let's say they go into New York and they reverse that flavour ban. Do you think that all those poor bastards that have lost their business, that all those poor bastards that have lost their jobs, are going to get compensated for it?
Hell no.
So those that are already under a flavour ban are never going to see that reversed.
They may. If they do, they won't benefit from it, though, because you're not going to go and start a business from scratch after you've had your whole livelihood shoveled up your arsehole. You just wouldn't do it. You wouldn't put yourself through that stress. And some people, it wasn't just that they got fucked. They got fucked and had like an almost overnight transition between business owner to whatever they've got in the bank is what they've got to start their livelihood with, and it became really difficult to sell a lot of the product that they had been sitting on for potentially months that they know they'd eventually sell in their shops when their shops stopped. So it's just a shitty situation all around. But regardless of whether it does get reversed, which I'm hoping it will, I'm hoping that they'll see sense and they'll start doing their own regulatory testing, or they'll start accepting Public Health England's testing as gospel. But at the same time, I think it's beyond repair for the people that have already been fucked.
As Andrew just said, they should sue the states. Now, if these are reversed in individual states, can you imagine the class action suits? Oh,
they're disgusting.
Someone is going to get their rectum felt, and not in a good way.
Johnny, you said it's your turn this question, so go.
Yeah, so I genuinely think the advocacy is working. Like, it's more or less everything that JB just said. They have, the voices have been heard. They have been stood about. I've been keeping quite a close eye on this, especially on like Instagram with the likes of the big names like Grim Green. Don't think Rip Trippers was there, but we touched on the video earlier today, and yeah, I think it's a good ploy. Yeah, it might have been clickbait, but what a move! A guy who's got 1.9 million subscribers to say, yeah, I'm quitting vaping because you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You need to be talking about it. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. You need to be going to Washington and making your voice heard, rather than just sitting back and on your ass and letting somebody else do it. Actually get off your ass and fucking do something about it.
That video from Rip did seem a bit crybaby-ish. It's almost...
Oh, my knuckles are dry.
No, it almost sounded as though you're taking away my income.
It is.
The way he put it was he was saying, basically, what happens if you do the flavour ban? The only way, the way they get their income is from sponsorship from companies. If they introduce a flavour ban, the sponsorship from the companies is going to dry up. The products coming in is going to dry up. He's going to have to quit. And I thought that was quite a sensible way of putting it.
No, see, I hate, and it really I might need an ambulance. If anyone needs to call me one, I'll send you my address. It pains me physically to stick up for him, but he's right. That is his fucking income. He's worked hard over a large number. Yes, he's been a tosser. Yes, he's put some bullshit opinions out there. Yes, he's a fucking idiot. he's a sellout. He's a fucking dildo. But at the same time, that is his income. He's worked his ass off to get where he is. As much as I think he's a dick now, I watched him to start with. I subscribed to him. I've spent hours watching his footage, and he's been a class above the rest since day one. In terms of editing skill, regularity, popularity. Do you know what I mean? He's put in that effort, and to have his whole I can't imagine he's got much else going for him.
Not at the moment.
No, I mean,
he doesn't even have a beard anymore.
In general, yeah, he's got no beard. His accent's weird. His teeth are funny. Do you know what I mean?
I never noticed his teeth until I watched that new video.
Yes, because he was always just covered by his beard.
Not that I'm being horrible. Not that I'm being horrible in any way, shape, or form. No, I feel bad for any fucker that's been screwed over by government. And I do. As much as I don't agree with the way he has done things in the past. And would you, open to chat, would you call Rip an advocate or a money-hungry cunt? I know what Tony's going to say.
I know what I'm going to say.
He's both.
I don't think he's an advocate.
Do you think he's an advocate because he's threatening his income?
Well, yeah, but it's threatening all of their incomes. Yeah. Grim Green especially, he's had to shut down shop.
But Green will go and stand on the front line with people. He will go and fight.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he has.
Grim has, yeah.
No, but I'm saying I don't know if Rip has. I don't know if he's actually
Rip had, he would have made a video on it. He'd have shouted it from the rooftops.
Yeah, Rip wouldn't have let that go quietly if he had been there.
Let's do lots of allows. I'm allowing cunt. Allow. There we go.
I love the way it says the command is /add_permitted_term cunt.
Because everyone's done it slightly differently. So someone's done it in all caps. One person's cap is allowed to see. It sees them all as different terms, doesn't it? So.
I like it.
Yeah.
But in fairness, these days, who isn't a money-hungry cunt?
Well, to a certain degree, you've got to be to live.
Do you know what I mean? Would you not steal a loaf of bread to feed your family?
And I mean, I'm not being funny, but like, if you worked in Tesco's, right, you wouldn't be screaming from the rooftops about how good Tesco's was until you found out your branch was closing down and you were going to be made redundant. Then you'd be encouraging people to use Tesco's because you want to keep your fucking job. So the thing is, you don't know what you got till it's gone. And I suppose where he's been so far ahead with 1 million+ subs for a long time, he's kind of never expected the money to dry up. And then with the new YouTube terms of service, they've had a lot of changes to that. They've had a lot of changes to sponsorship, and he's lost probably a lot of money. And then he's sort of realised he can't wipe his arse for 50s anymore, and he has to do something about it. But again, it's human instinct. You don't bang on about something until, I never told my mates about how good turkey Twizzlers were until they were gone. And now they're gone, I still think about them weekly.
To be fair, in his video, he did say that Grim Green does the advocacy. Matt from Suck My Mod does the advocacy. That's what they do. That's what they do. He says it's not his area of speciality.
He's a reviewer.
Reviews.
But that's how they started off.
So
Matt was a reviewer.
No. I agree. But I agree as well with his point that Grim Green does videos, and at the end of every video, and so does Matt from Suck My Mod, right, the advocacy bit, don't forget to subscribe, Kassar, blah, blah, blah. And he is right, it does get a bit samey. You do kind of go, all right, they're just doing the...
You're desensitised to
advert. Yeah, they're doing the adverts for the advocacy bit. So when he does it, because he doesn't do it very often, exactly what is happening now, we start talking about it. Because he's doing an advocacy video, not a review.
Do any of you regularly watch YouTubers, not vaping related, but normal YouTubers?
All the time.
Yeah.
So, David Dobrik, he does something very, very, very clever. I don't know if any of you have seen his vlogs. but they're very, 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 very clever. So essentially, every video he does is 4 minutes 20 seconds long. He has money. He has music that plays in there that demonetizes his ones because the songs have impact on whatever content he's showing. He doesn't care about the money or the revenue. He makes his money through merch sales. He's always said that. But what he does is he has this outro, right? And so he shows all these mad clips of what he's been doing and all these science experiments and whatever the fuck he's been doing. He has this outro where he plugs his this follow me on Twitter, blah 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 blah, and then he has this short clip at the end that's really like captivating. It captures your attention. Now, every other channel I subscribe to, as soon as the main content's over and I know it's the outro, I just change the video. His, I watch every video to the last second just to see that little clip at the end. And that's all it takes to stand out from a crowd. It's all it takes for people to not gloss over that advocacy part. But it's not being done in a different way. And I think that people need to appreciate the fact that, yes, they're going to the effort of saying, you know, follow this, do that, advocacy, blah, blah, blah. But it becomes irrelevant over time. A bit like when I first started watching vape reviews and first started watching Rip Trippers, the amount of people I used to see on Facebook saying, smoking is dead, vaping is the future is now. Yeah. And I've not heard that for about 3 years until that video where he was saying that someone was taking the piss by saying that in the comment section. And actually, I thought back and thought, actually, when he did, I don't know when he stopped. I don't know if he still says it. I don't know when he stopped saying it.
Says it on the end of every video.
But I've not seen him say that for over 3 years. Not that I've watched many of his videos in the last 3 years.
He dropped that pretty quickly.
But you see what I mean? It's kind of like that was a big thing that was spoken about. People were quoting it, and then it just dropped off because it becomes so repetitive, so boring that no one gave a fuck anymore.
Yeah. It becomes very similar to the, you know, when they do the podcast, they do and thanks to our sponsors, and our sponsors are whatever, and they start reading out what the sponsors do. It becomes a bit like that. It's an advert. You just kind of almost switch off for it.
Well, this is it. The right key on any keyboard, laptop, computer, anything, the right key will skip you 5 seconds. Yeah. Anytime an advert comes up, H3 podcast is fucking incredible. But the second he says, right, time to speak about the sponsor, I'm right-clicking until it's gone. I don't give a shit what he's selling. I want to listen to him talk about whatever he's talking about. And it becomes a point, it kind of becomes a mute point. So when people like Rip Trippers who don't normally talk about advocacy and don't normally, plug rallies or tell you to do this, do it. Yes, it's uncharacteristic, and yes, it can come across as money-grabbing cuntiness, but it's actually having more of an impact than the people that are wasting their time doing it every week, in my opinion.
In general, we're going with Rip Trippers and saying yay.
I still like the guy. That's I stand by him. But he's got a family to look after.
Oh, like he's still getting the bin.
I was just going for the button.
To be honest, no.
I have the logo.
Sorry, but if MTurk can charge $25 for a set of coils, I'm sure Rip Trippers has not got a problem with promoting a bit of smoke products. Even though I can't stand smoke.
Hey, I can't stand smoke, but I've been using this cunt for about 5 months.
There you go.
It's not about the fact that he promotes smoke products. It's about the fact he's a sellout cunt. I lost all respect for him, the dry knuckle bullshit.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that would OTT. But
that was straight up abusing your authority. That's all that was. That was selling out your morals to make money by giving irrelevant and falsifying information in order to make cash. He got a sponsorship offer for a fucking vitamin company or whatever it was, a cream company, and he made up an ailment that he got from vaping. This is for anyone who isn't familiar with what this story is. He made up an ailment in order to sell vitamins or sell whatever this fucking cream was, and he blamed vaping for it.
It was a drink. It was like a powdered supplement drink.
Yeah, that was it. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on.
Yep.
Cool. So we came up. Okay, basically, I came up with a couple of ideas for us to have a play with, because this is a new format for us, and we're going to see what. We're basically just going to throw shit against the wall and see what sticks, as is the term. So one thing, and I see this all the time, is you ever go on Facebook and it's like, describe a movie as badly as you can, or describe your job as badly as you can, right? Now, vaping, what we do is kind of weird in a way. So I want you guys to describe vaping as badly as you can in as short a sentence as possible.
As badly.
Bear clouds, bro. Dry knuckles, bro. Done.
Huffing fumes and chucking plumes.
Guys in chat, please feel free to put in your comments. It is much appreciated.
I quite enjoy some of them though, like the ones where it's like, describe your job as if it was a horror film.
Yeah.
I'm like, my job is a fucking horror film.
Right, Chandler.
Inhale, exhale, repeat. It's like one of them T-shirts, isn't it? Inhale, exhale, repeat.
Who needs a motivational T-shirt to remember how to breathe?
Yeah, pretty much.
I did see one that I think it said like wick it, vape it, sleep, repeat, and it's like, oh god.
I saw an incredible one the other day. It was Yes Theory. I'm not familiar with their YouTube
Yes Theory. Yes Theory.
I'm not really familiar, but I've started watching them. But they've got a slogan on one of their T-shirts, which is like, seek. Oh, what is it? Seek discomfort.
Right. And after
it's about,
watching,
like, putting yourself.
After watching, sorry to interrupt. After watching one of their videos, whilst watching it, I actually wrote that down. Oh shit! Hang on. The stuff on there you can't see. Oh, wrong way.
What did you write down?
Try. Just try.
Just try.
DM.
Okay.
People selling me shit I don't need to impress to impress people I don't like.
Hashtag high end.
Actually, that's so fucking true as well.
Jono, your turn.
Build it, wick it, vape it. Simple.
I like that.
Incredible.
I like the braille penis.
Braille penis.
Where's where's our admin? Admin.
The balls are disproportionately small, though.
Speak for yourself. I'm all cock and no balls. What can I say?
You must be all balls and no cock, if yours aren't disproportionate. But yeah, I don't know. Anyone got any others, or can we describe it like a horror film? I like horror film.
Go on, then. Let's describe vaping as if it were a horror film.
You've been thinking about this, Chris.
I haven't thought one up yet.
Let's just go back to some of the comments. Tony, vaping causes AIDS.
Michael, big clouds, bruh.
Wait, what? How is that describing vaping as in a boring way? Vaping causes AIDS. That's not what. If I read that as a headline, I'd be a bit interested.
Depends who you shared your mod with.
Oh, do you know the amount of times at fucking Expo where people said try this, and they've had lip crust on it, and I've actually touched my mouth with it. I'm like, it's like feeling braille with your lips, isn't it?
I had one yesterday in the shop, right? And this dude was like, it's the classic question of, what are you vaping on? And I picked it up, and I was like, oh, I'm vaping on one of these. Unfortunately, we don't sell it, blah, 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 blah. He grabbed it out of my my hand and shoved it in his face, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
I thought you were going to say shoved it in his arsehole then.
I was like, he was a pretty scroty looking bloke. Like, he was not a clean man. And I was like, well, what are you doing? And he was like, what, can't I have a go on it? And I was like, well, you didn't ask, and no, because I don't tend to let anyone use it. And he was like, oh, sorry. And he was like, all right, I think I'll leave. And then he just walked out of embarrassment.
What makes me laugh is he asked you, after he put it in his mouth, if he could have a go on it, like he was playing with your wife. Can I have a go? Can I have a go on that after you've stuck your dick in her?
I like the way Cass has the same rule for his mod as he does for his penis. Nobody touches it but him.
Just like just caught in the middle like that, and just like, oh, you don't mind, dear.
You got to ask first.
Oh god, I can just imagine that. So Cass invites some bird back to his house, and he goes to take his trousers off, and he's like, one, you didn't ask, and two, I don't let anyone touch that.
Right.
No, just like looking down. What are you doing?
We all know how James Blythe loves his t-shirts.
Yeah.
We need a t-shirt that just says, "Get my mod out of your mouth."
Yes.
I'd wear that.
Yeah, too right. See, I don't mind people that I know or friends because using devices that I've got, because 9 times out of 10 they ask first.
I used to have a guy in the shop. I'm just going to grab a mob to show you what he did, and I'm sure I've told this story on the show before. But he used to come in, and he'd be like, "Ooh, you bastard." Yeah, that works. That's been a while.
Mark, this is how your house burnt down the first time. Take the batteries out.
So this guy would come in and be like, "You got your vaping on, what's good?" And it literally, he wouldn't ask. He would literally scoop up your mod, right, off the counter, and he would go. And vape it. No word of a lie. He used to deep throat your mod, and we've all been there.
Did you ever comment? Right? Did you ever comment on how? Did you ever comment on how tight the airflow was?
The amount of times I nearly put arsenic on my drip tip just to kill the cunt.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. I'm quite invasive when it comes to other people's mods. I don't often shove them in my mouth, but I will stick stuff on them, like chili sauce or my penis.
I mean, I need to remind you about the backwashing milk thing.
What?
Chris.
What?
Didn't you ever think
about having milk?
You go into people's fridges and just milk into their bottle.
I forgot I told you
Chris?
about
I knew that story. I just couldn't work out who it was.
That was Chris.
Yeah.
Because they asked it, because it went up.
But it's not backwash.
It went up to Dale's, didn't it? Did you go for a weekend or something like that? It says, "Please tell me you did it at Dale's," and you were like, "I might have done." Right, sheepishly.
I can't remember if I did do it. The thing is with Dale, because he's both accommodating and lazy, you get free reign of his fridge anyway, because he can't be asked to get up and get anything for you. So he wouldn't have known anyway to come. I could have stuck my dick in his pint of milk and he wouldn't have known. I could have come into his living room with his pint of milk hanging off of my cock, and then walks back in.
Someone clip that and send it.
And it'd go like, "Are you making
Someone
a
clip
brew?"
that and send it to Dale.
Clip it and send it to Dale.
No one clip that and send it to Dale.
Incredible. Hey, Jono, have you got us a big question?
I have, mate. And for the first time ever in the history of my host, I've actually put it in the notes.
It's fucking notes, boys.
I told you, mate. Changes are coming. Changes are coming. So, if you were a vape review, right? Bear in mind, I've gone off this off Rip Trippers. So, I don't want to hear anything about, oh, well, I'll just be a sellout cunt, maybe, because I've got dry knuckles. If you were a vape reviewer and you had 2 million subs, how would you promote advocacy, vape advocacy? And we'll direct it to Chandler.
Oh, great. Thanks. Come to me first.
We'll leave the actual reviewer till last.
I think the majority of advocacy when you think of advocacy, you think of the states, don't you? So you think of the CASAR and all the American things.
Not necessarily, because it could go to Parliament.
Yeah. No, obviously, advocacy doesn't seem to mean quite the same over here, does it?
No, you're right.
In the states, they've got the flavor bans and da. So they're all really pushing advocacy, although they've been doing it for years. So how would I promote advocacy as a YouTuber? It would obviously you'd resort to the Royal College of Physicians. You know, this has been proven by an official to be 95% safer than cigarettes.
Good shout.
What would you rather do?
You can say that without turning into rib.
Well, yeah, or turning into the. There is only so many times you can do something before folk like Chris JB starts flicking through it as if it's a commercial.
So how would you advocate? Let's say you release 5 videos a week. How would you advocate? Sorry, I've stolen this, Jono. How would you?
No, go for it. No, it is to all of you. I would just start with Chandler.
How would you advocate in a way that would be meaningful without being pretentious or dickheadishness or dry knuckleish or whatever? How could any one of us, had we got those 2 million people, how could we advocate in a meaningful way?
I've got an idea.
I'm thinking along the lines of who was it? There was someone, one of the really big YouTubers who went to London and just went, right, I'm in London now, come and find me. And Trafalgar Square or wherever it was swamped. I'm assuming he had like that many, you're talking that many subscribers, aren't you? So would that do you mean that sort of thing? That would work. Right, I'm in London right now. Whoever's
gets attention,
get your ass down. Get your ass down here now. Let's do this. We'll put it on the channel live. Let's see how many people we can get in one place right now. All campaigning for. Let's get the truth about e-cigs out.
Sorry. What sort of level of YouTube fame are we talking here?
2 million.
You've got 2 million subscribers.
2 million.
2 million subscribers. So based on 2 million subscribers, you're probably doing near $500,000 a year in income from reviews, easily, if not more.
Sponsorships and everything else.
See, I think what I would do for this is because everyone uses their platform in different ways. You use it through videos, you use it through this. But the one thing that a lot of YouTubers do is they release products. And that product itself is an advertising space. So what you could do is release, say, I don't know, an RDA or a mod and just cover the box in positive messages, you know, safer than tobacco. Just call it the safer than tobacco RDA. You could just cover that packaging in the messages you want, because that's not just going to get to the people that watch your videos. That's going to get to the people that go into shops, that shop online. They're going to see those things in a way, and maybe it'll be in a subconscious level. Maybe it will be in a, oh, that's what that says. Maybe I should look it up. But then you could put links. You could put positive. It's like they trying to do with tobacco in a reverse way. So it's that whole, you know, smoking kills on every packet of cigarettes. We'll do it in the reverse way on vaping products. And that's how I would do it, with my name to it, as someone who had 2 million subs.
I would go down a route of publicity stunt. I've seen a few people do this when they've YouTube, they've not uploaded for a while, and it's gone viral so many times, where they've hidden all of their old videos and just put like a ominous timer and put like a really cryptic message. And I've seen people with like 10, 15, 30 like when Fortnite went black. Did you see that when the new Fortnite season started and they had a black screen and they had like 100,000 people watching it for about 5 days? And that's happened. That's happened loads of times. Loads of YouTubers. There's a big YouTubers that have gone dark. They've turned all of their videos onto private for the day, put up a weird timer, and just let people speculate about what it was about. And then I'd come up with a creative way of getting a positive message across once that timer reached 0, and
Dr. Disrespect did it massively. Did a massive thing on it.
Loads of people have done it, and it works so well. So many people are speculating about what's going on. There was a guy that did it. I can't remember his name. Trevor something or other, and it was on the H3 podcast. And he'd put this like cryptic message, and it said something H3 in it. And the guy who ran H3 podcast was covering it live on his podcast because he thought it was about him, and it just had H3 something in this big long line of gibberish, and he just had it in his head it was about him, and he had like 10 million people watching or whatever covering this ominous footage. Do you know what I mean?
Worries,
so I could just
what worries me is, okay, let's, and I know we've kind of been here, let's take, well, I'm holding a pen, let's take let's imagine what's happened in the US happens here in the UK. Would we, as a British population, have the bollocks to stand up like the Americans have? Let's take you back. Let's go back to when they went, right, the TRPR, the TPD's kicking in, and this is what's going to happen. Okay, there was a few people that went to London and went, save our Nick, save our Nick, save our 10 mils, save our whatever. There was a handful of them that did that advocated and advocated hard. How many people here in chat could honestly say that in the UK, if we were hit with a flavour ban, if we were hit with the potential that vaping could be banned, how many of you would stand up? How many of you would stand up and say, fuck you? How many of you would lobby?
Probably not. I live a long way away from anywhere that's worth rallying.
There's our first excuse. Can't be arsed. Second excuse.
It's not. It can't be asked. There's a distance and money involved that I don't have.
See, I'd like to think I would. I think the reason people didn't do it for the TPD is because they knew they weren't losing vaping completely. They weren't happy with the result, but in the UK, we're much happier to let it go through Parliament than we are to stand outside it. But I'd like to think I'd be there. If it was a total, like, it's not allowed ban, I think you'd see a lot of people.
I think the thing is, with the British mentality, is that 85-90% of people's situation would be, I really want to do it, but I'm 90% sure no gun's going to turn up.
Yeah, that'll be it. So no one turns up because no one else thinks anyone else is going to turn up.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because it's like, imagine back in 1998, before many people had a phone. You'd arrange to meet your friends down the town. You'd all plan it all week at school, and on Saturday you'd get there, no cunt would turn up, and no one had a phone to ring anyone to find out if they were actually coming. So you waited around outside Argos, and then you went home. That's what I imagine a lobby in the UK would be like.
Yeah. I think DM's hit it on the head. I'd write stern letters, even sterner than the ones I send to points of view.
Stern letters. I would have just sent my stern letter to points of view. I mean,
and a very
surely that would be enough.
Very good evening to Mr. John Martin.
The only person who said they missed me from the show.
Who's John Martin?
Nice, I like that.
I got you back, you fucker.
It's a case that we all have good intentions. Don't get me wrong. Other than the advocacy, because obviously I was on Vape Talk at the time and there was lots of discussions and everything else. Other than what I did running my shop, talking to people, advertising, TV, radio, I was working as hard as I fucking could. I wasn't going down to London and standing there in Trafalgar Square with banners and all that jazz. But you know what? I did what I could from the platform that I was stood on, and I think I did.
Yeah.
I did my lion's share, in my opinion. Okay, I was in the business. I still am in the business, and it directly affected me as a retailer, as an end user, as a person that is likely to lose their right to vape. Would I have done more as a consumer?
What's that?
I don't know.
I think we'd all like to think we would.
I think that if it was 2014 and we hosted a cloud comp outside number 10 with a 500 quid grand prize, then half of the UK's vape scene would be
hashtag free shit.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Hashtag clouds, bro.
Oh, we're giving out an AV Able as the first prize. People will be travelling from fucking far and wide to get that bad boy.
We'll have Benny there, sleeping behind you. No, Mark, stop. I'm going to the toilet before I say something I regret.
I think I would be there.
Can you get me a drink right there, mate?
I think I would be there, but I think the thing that would really put me off would be like the younger generation, because they're more like, oh, let's egg Parliament and just like proper idiotic ideas rather than actually advocating themselves.
Yeah,
they would come up with just ridiculously stupid ideas, and they would go through with them because that's the generation now.
Well, like covering the LSE in fake blood, except the hose burst.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're idiots.
It's almost as bad as a vegan protest. You seen them?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
like
me.
Like fur, like pouring red paint on fur, like PETA protesters. It's like, if it's their choice to do it, let them do it.
Well, we could do a dirty protest and we'll just take a shit on number 10's doorstep.
That as well. But again, that's what some of the younger generation would do.
Yeah, and you don't want anything that undermines the actual message of the protest, because that's what it becomes. I mean, it's like the Extinction Rebellion protest. Those a couple of dickheads decided to stand on top of a commuter train and actually really fuck people up, and the entire protest actually went, look, we don't agree with what they did, but now this is what our protest has become about. It undermined the entire fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. There's no such thing as a peaceful protest because we're all censored. Do you know what I mean? You see it everywhere where we're doing a peaceful protest. We're doing a peaceful protest. Well, why the fuck are you obstructing people getting to work? Why are you blocking the streets? Why are you ruining people's days? Why are you, noise pollution? This is why that Greta Thunberg got so popular, because she was just going and sitting outside of Parliament on her own with a little sign and just sitting there. And her protests got attention because it was the first time that a real peaceful protest actually fucking happened. It doesn't happen anymore. Like, some of the protest causes are incredible as well, like Justice for Dads or whatever it was, when parents were seeking equal rights for fathers as they are mothers. And those protests were for such an incredible cause. But at the same time, dressing up as Batman and climbing on top of a fucking roof is not the way to go. It clearly worked. It clearly worked. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's dangerous and hazardous for... Why haven't I got a John Martin pillow?
Huh?
Did you get that off your bed, Mark?
No, it was behind me. I'm just catching up on chat.
Oh, is that what it looks like? Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, that...
Hey, Mark, with the power of that pillow, you can shrink his forehead. Give him a free head.
That's a little bit weird.
He looks like my brother-in-law. But no, it's hard to keep a message neutral when the way you're conveying the message is very obstructive, very intrusive, very loud, very anything. So it's kind of a protest is really the wrong word. Rallies don't really count either. All I think of when I associate the word to a fort is the Westboro Baptist Church. That's what I think of when I think of rallies. So it's hard to really find a to find a peaceful medium. And this is why I think people doing things the way they can, like Mark going on radio, I was talking about on Vape Talk, you know, putting it at the end of your videos on YouTube, you know, sharing links, they're the way forward because they're not harming anyone. And if all that happens by you sharing a link is that one of your friends comments saying, "Oh, ain't that chucking them cloud stuff's causing problems," and you correct them and explain it, then it's one more educated person that might help towards sharing that positive message. I think lobbying and rallying only really works in the States because they're brash and loud and in your fucking face. And even then, all of their protests, I've never seen a single protest where a still image of a protest has not been turned into a meme in the last 10 years.
Are they all from Bristol, by the way?
Oh, hey, they are.
I thought it was from Norfolk.
From Cornwall. But yeah, it's
Does that answer your question, John O?
To an extent, yeah.
Cool. Chandler.
Can I?
Is he from
Can I dip in before we go to Chandler, just very quickly?
I thought you meant, can you dip into Chandler? Of course you can.
Oh, easy.
Before we go to Instagram, new shit. I've come across this a couple of times today on the old Facebooks, and I wanted your opinions. What do we think? Is the Sunbox Zero Borough?
Elaborate.
Have a look on screen.
Oh, I can't. I can't. Oh yeah, no.
I think they've just made a billet box unnecessarily bigger.
It's probably not bigger. That's an 18650 battery.
It's either
size.
18650 or 18500. It takes.
Yeah, either or. It's not bigger than a billet box. It's smaller.
Is it still side by side? They've just put a box around it. They've just covered it over.
I'm presuming by zero borough, it means that there's direct coil in there and a gap for the coil, not a removable borough.
There we go.
Right?
If you check on screen now, there's the side by side from a billet box. Okay,
nice.
It is a little bit fatter. Hang on, let me. So there's the borough.
And it's got a billet box borough in it.
I'm not sure it is, but it looks like it is. No, it looks like it is.
What's the dollar?
From what I can find out, we're looking at $410.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ouch.
I mean, that is beautiful, but I'm out.
I like the way they've put it in because the borough goes in the end rather than flat sideways.
It kind of annoys me that the fire button's at the bottom as well.
There we go. Let's have a. It is. If you have a look at the stream now, you'll see that it is considerably wider than a billet box, but obviously.
Oh, it's like a borough.
Yeah,
it's a borough turned sideways.
Sorry, I'm the wrong side tonight. It's the width. What do we think, boys? Chat. What do we think? 410. I don't think when you compare the price of a billet box, it's got the Dicodes Pro chipset in it. When you compare the price of the billet box, that is sexy. Come on.
I mean, I like it a lot. I don't like it $410 a lot.
No, it seems like a billet box with less battery life.
If it was 200 quid, I'd have one.
As John just said, the trouble is, I think billet box is iconic, and that isn't.
Yeah, so pricey.
Yeah,
I think it's machined well.
Oh, yeah, it looks nice.
It's a Sunbox. Sunbox has got its own following. It's got its own brand name for itself. So you know, we know that a Sunbox is high end.
A lot of people say the same thing.
I think it's ingenious the way they've done it. It's a lot of money. I think a billet box is more than a considered purchase.
If you got 2 million subs, would you review it for 500 quid?
I'd review it for nothing.
You get to keep it afterwards.
It's stainless steel by the look of it, Andrew.
It does, yeah. 304.
The Sunbox. I don't think they would use aluminium. It's too risky for the high-end perception with its scratching and stuff like that.
It's going to be a weight stuff.
I like how the actual tank is placed. So it's like on the front. If you're looking at it.
I like the fact it's at the front. I disagree with where it's placed because I don't like the fact the fire button's at the bottom.
Yeah,
it's almost like they went right. Where would you put all of the features on a device? And everyone said their piece, and they went right. We're going to go to the exact opposite of everything you've said.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like
I fire with my thumb or my forefinger. Right, we'll put it at the bottom where you have to fire it with your pinky.
Even the battery entries at the top.
See what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the more I look at it, the less I'm in love with it. But I do quite like it.
Done it upside down, aren't they?
Yeah, that's exactly it. All they need, me and Bessie Goldsmith, Sean Goldsmith, we designed a box that took 2 billet box boroughs, one at each end, and it had like a little valve to seal one off, and you could turn it upside down and change whatever you were vaping on. And we decided it was unnecessary. This looks like half of that design.
Apparently, Sunbox are sponsored by Royal Mail because it'll break and you'll have to send it back. Oh, DM condensation. Next.
Yeah, that's also true.
Over to Chandler.
Is Chandler? Are we ending on Chandler?
Have you got something?
Yeah.
I've got something that I'd like to propose that I can do every time I'm on, if I'm on every week. Can I just send at the end of the show? Can I just send a link to the favourite video I've watched this week on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything interesting I find every week, I'll post the most interesting video I found, and then you guys can all give me feedback in chat on Friday of whether you enjoyed it.
Is it vape related? Because it sounds like a Friday thing.
No, it's not vape related, but we can discuss it on Friday. So I'll just send a link at the end of the show, and that's it.
Take care, Tony. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Right.
See you, Tony.
Over Chandler.
Ah. There we are, starting with coil of the week, as per normal.
Beautiful.
So, Jono, your job. What the hell is that?
That is a stagger trade staple, but it's crimped at middle.
It's very nice. And does anybody know what Atty that's on?
No, but it looks a little bit like the one that I've just seen Custom Vapes put up on their page. Twisted Messes something or other, but it looks like it if it was laid on its side.
Because that's surely not the airflow hole at the bottom, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That airflow is that will be the air, I'm pointing at the screen.
Yeah.
The airflow. Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you look underneath the coil, there's an exit hole for the airflow.
Yeah, it's like the death trap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there we go.
I wonder if there's one on the other side. In fact, JB, I wonder if there's one on the other side.
There we go. DM saying
there
it's
is.
the ghoul.
No, I mean on the other side of the post, like the same other side of post. So there's two.
Like the death trap. No, I think that's actually like presumably from an engineering standpoint, I'd imagine that the one at the back is smaller so that you could have two different airflows.
Yeah, it looks angled.
Well, it will be to stop juice leaking out as easy, but I think it'd be so you could have either a smaller airflow or larger airflow, depending on what, because it's a single coil. You wouldn't really want dual airflow.
The ghoul apparently.
I was expecting the airflow to be on the coils, not underneath.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, but it looks angled up, Chandler. That's what Jono was saying. It looks angled up towards.
Oh, it does. If you look at the white line that goes, you've got the hole, and then you've got the white line. See how the white line's angled? that I'm suggesting that's
it's like that. It's a machine. It's machined at an angle.
okay. Andrew, it's not nestled in cleavage, so I can see it. We had a few complaints about tits.
Yeah.
Chandler likes women and men.
And
it's causing problems.
I was going to say I'm still here, so I'll just try and be less of a tit going forwards.
I was just going to say we've already got 4 or 5 tits now, so
don't worry, Chandler. If we were going by the feedback, we would have sacked Cass, not you.
Okay, fine.
I was this close to just being like, the best thing for this show is if I just leave.
I was this close to saying the best thing for this show is if Cass just leaves.
You're so kind, Chris. Right, just in case anybody needs a alpha in Sheffield.
Who? No, I'm joking. Sorry, Rhian. Sorry, Rhian.
Savage. Absolutely savage. If Rhian's in here, you're in trouble, Mark.
Right. Rhian knows from the amount that I bought from him that he knows I don't mean that. But now I buy them from China for half the price, so it's all good. Anyway, moving on.
Right. Herbie McCubbin has been at it again. I love these. I think they're gorgeous. This is he's called them a Tao, Tao. This is his 18650 Tao. It's just a mech with a switch FET, and the button is so kind of smooth and in there.
Is anyone else turning their neck upside down to try and look at it properly?
Yeah.
That is the worst angle, isn't it?
Chandler, do your upside down thing.
What?
Can you do your upside down thing?
No, I could only. Can I do the upside down thing on this picture?
JB, check your messages.
Yeah, I can. Hang on.
It's mods like the battery.
There we go.
Casing's like exposed. It's like, why can't it just be concealed?
What a specimen.
Okay, I quite like that. I mean, the other one, 18350 version. Love the fact it's got the inlay in the button, and the button is flush with the mod.
Yeah, I'm liking that. And based by what RDA is that? You know what that looks like?
Hadley.
That is a Hadley.
No, it's not, because the Hadley has. Oh, it has. I was going to say the Hadley's not got the raised.
Oh no, it might not be the Hadley actually. It does look a little bit like one.
No, the Hadley. No, it's not Hadley. It's not Hadley.
No, it's a smaller drip tip on the Hadley as well.
Well, it's not a drip tip. It's the fact that
the nipple bit.
Yeah.
The chin and Nada.
And the Hadley's got 2 air holes.
It's too small for the Nada. It looks like a Derringer back in the day. Does anyone remember the Derringer?
It does a little bit. Derringer had 3 air holes though, didn't it?
But the metal. No, Narca, apparently. There we go.
Narca.
Thanks, DM. Yeah, that's nice. It's Diddy.
Next one.
I am liking
it. It is really Diddy. It's. Oh, imagine that with K-Fun on the top of that.
It'd literally be like 4 times the size of it.
No, oh yeah, try putting the Brunhilde on it. That would be amazing.
The overhang.
That sounds like a German shot putter's name. A female German shot putter. Brunhilde.
Strangely, it's a German Atty, so possibly. I suppose it'd be the equivalent of us of somebody in England creating an Atty and calling it Susan. Maybe. Anyway.
Continue.
I am liking a lot more of the wooden mods. I really am.
I know.
To say that I despised them before, but I'm really liking a lot of them now.
I think
don't know why.
I think he's missed a trick with not having the blue and wood button.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And the grain's facing the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can turn that grain. The thing is, to make the button be half and half to follow the work involved in that.
It's just nuts.
DM, I hear Brown Hilda. Is that like a rice? No, that's Tilda.
Nice.
Brunhilde.
Wasn't she in Coronation Street?
Brown Tilda.
Okay. Nigel Moxon has created some new mods, and he posted his one of his prototypes up. It's based loosely on the double barrel from like Squid Industries.
So what's the spirit level for?
It looks like something car tied up with.
I saw that when he posted it, and I thought, that's a double barrel? What is it? Turns out, apparently, it's something to do with... it's an air purifier thing. So, hey-ho. I don't know what it does. I thought it was a mod when I first saw it. So, who knew?
Did you post that anywhere else by any chance?
Try
No. No, I didn't. No, not at all. Right, new. I have seen some new stuff, some new products. A few of them are pod systems, so I'm going to go through them very quickly. So we've got the Coco RM100. That's that one. Some strange thing with the chain. A fetch pod system. And an Aegis boost. So
right, shall we start those again?
There we go. That was it. Sorry?
Start them again.
Start them again.
So we've got the Coco,
which is an ugly recycled look.
The Caliburn Coco.
And you get a lanyard with it.
Another chain. Yeah, you get a chain with that.
It's looking like the Me one, or the Me pod. But
looks
apart from the actual drip
pod.
tips just exposed.
You see, Jono and I... There we go. Get in the bin from Michael. Jono and I were talking about this earlier, and we were sat on a hangout, and we were chatting. Goldie-looking chains would be fire. And we were just saying that there's just no real... At this level, there's no innovation. It's just pod system after fucking pod system after fucking pod system. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's a few good pod systems out there. Good pod systems out there. But, oh my fucking lord, pod systems are going to kill this industry, I swear.
We're saying like we went on like several websites, didn't we? And there were just no good like new products, like actually half decent, like even single 18650s anymore.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
Aspire's latest little release, the Aspire Mulus, looks interesting because it's a single 18650 battery. I think it can do up to 80 watts. But what Aspire do, which they do best, is they've made it back compatible with their own coils. So you get a Nautilus bridge, and you get a Nautilus adapter, and you get a Tygon coil adapter. And if you haven't ever tried a Tygon coil, I recommend having a go with one because they're brilliant little coils. But the idea being is you can have direct lung or mouth to lung. It looks a little bit like a billet box. It goes up to 4.2. You ain't got to have all the faff that you get with the billet box, and it's fully adjustable. I think it's a brilliant little budget vape that's a bit like a billet box if you don't want to pay billet box money and you like the Nautilus. Because I mean, how many billet box users out there just use Nautilus coils?
I keep getting fucking daily messages from Aspire, so I've kind of stopped looking at them.
400 million fucking coils, to be fair. Oh, am I allowed?
Yeah,
am I allowed to say that? Sorry, I didn't put my brain into gear before.
That's probably why they keep emailing me.
But Aspire have always done things. When they release new products, they make them back compatible so that you don't have to buy yet another fucking type of coil.
Yeah, well, I've literally just bought 25,000 coils from them.
Take notes.
So
take notes. Anyway, back to Chandler. Oh God, another grenade.
Well, it looks like an Aegis. I'll give it that. It's got the leather. When you stick all the Aegises next to each other, they've got a theme going on.
I mean, to be honest, this back bit with leather, it's just unnecessary. Just a little bit of leather. What's the point?
Well, it gives it its custom. You know, an Aegis has got a leather.
I've got one of those.
Which is fine. I don't knock it, but
2 seconds. I've got one.
If you're after an Aegis, why do you do a pod system?
I've got one of those. 2 seconds.
So why bring out a pod system that looks like the original freaking mod? I think it's unnecessary, but some people dig it. So
Diddy just said AIOs with RBAs will be the next big thing. Look at the Smok RPM 40. That's got an RBA very similar to the old Kangatech
Have you seen the
rebuildable base.
Have you seen...
I suppose actually has the big camera on and he just walks around with it, like in two hands, and he just keeps it straight all the time.
I thought you lot were taking a piss. So you genuinely haven't seen one?
I've got one.
Yeah.
No. I didn't know if anyone else had in chat.
Right. I'll show you what it looks like when it's.
I haven't seen one for the phone.
So it's a bit floppy, and then you turn it on, and it stabilizes it and brings it straight. So no matter what I do,
great bit.
What angle I move at, it will stabilize this video. But there's like different settings. So like if I have it, I can control it completely, 360.
That's quite cool.
So you can do like corkscrew effects and mad shit. I don't know.
That's a bit nice.
What you got next, Chandler?
Yeah. Next one. Yeah, Mekman's brought out a small version.
No audio from
Chris.
Chris,
I fixed it.
Yeah, apparently it's back. So yeah, Mekman, single battery 18650 90.
I wasn't a big fan of the Mekman. It just felt cheap. I know
it feels cheap. It does.
It does the job. I sent the one we got sent for review over to Chandler, knowing that Chandler would appreciate it and use it. So it's just not. It just felt cheap, in my opinion.
I'm not knocking it. I wouldn't. I would recommend it to somebody. It does the job. The board's good. It's accurate. But it is basic.
I think to about 60 to 70% of people as well, 90 watts is too low for an RDA now. A lot of people use 0.1 coils and 0.2. So I mean, if you run it between 170 watts, then you know what I mean. You're not going to get much life out, are you?
I never go to anywhere near 350. I mean, I'm on 34 bloody watts at the moment. I mean, I'm really pushing this 200 watt box mod to its limits. So,
Okay.
Good old Mary.
By the way, talking if you want something that you can push.
Oh no, I really want one, but
I knew you'd like that. They've done a stabilized wood version of the Hammer of God.
Chandler, I've seen a green one.
Echo Mark.
Oh, it's gone. I've got it.
Okay.
I've seen a green one and I want it so bad, but I can't get one at the moment just for the sheer price.
Oh, they're not cheap, are they?
No.
Especially these ones, because these are the special edition ones.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous, but 4 batteries. It's basically a series parallel.
Paraseries.
Yeah, I mean, Hammer of God have been going for what 4 years now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a series box, but it's parallel series. So you're getting the series, but with the battery life of the parallel.
Yeah. So it was a genius idea.
I think I've had more or less every variation, apart from when it got to the V4. That's the only. Those are the. From there, I haven't had, but I've had the V1, the V2, and the V3. I've enjoyed them thoroughly.
So and just because, obviously, you know, Hammer of God.
Why not?
And why not? I mean, everybody's, you know, you can vape what you like, can't you? So a tank that would look not out of place on a Hammer of God.
I'm not sure you.
A little bit silly on an Ego battery.
I'm not sure you need the airflow on an Ego. I've got to be honest.
It's like the opposite setup of Chandler. His tanks and his drip tips are normally far bigger than his mod.
I like that one.
Oh God, that is ugly.
Yeah, but it works.
That would potentially work. You just wouldn't do it.
So, and just to finish off, something different, because I've figured out how to do it. Right, you ready for this? Vape trick of the week. You ready?
Spamming them O's, brah. Spamming it.
Could you get a more perfect O? That one at the beginning.
That was tidy as fuck.
You've never seen anything like it. Awesome.
You've never seen Pix V-God Trick Team.
Oh yes.
I've seen a few videos. Don't worry, there's going to be more coming. So
there you go, Michael.
So,
get in the
there you
bin.
go.
Get in the bin.
That's what I've seen on Instagram this week.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
There you go.
I like the video. I think that's cool.
It was good, wasn't it?
All right. Well, if we're going to be wrapping up, I'm going to paste my my YouTube video of the week. Mark's having a seizure.
Demos Dobra.
So I've just posted my YouTube video find of the week.
Is it a quick one or?
No, and it's worth watching the whole thing.
Okay.
So yeah, Feedback Fridays.
Feedback Friday. So I'm clicking on it because I'm morbidly curious.
I've clicked.
So versus Beatness ground beatbox battle. Right, this is a Big Tom, is it?
No, this is definitely not Big Tom. Although he may make it into one of my YouTube videos of the week.
I think we need to bring. What was his name? I can't remember his name.
Gatlin.
MC Gatlin.
Oh.
But although we started half an hour late, it has technically been a shorter show, and we want to hear your guys' new feedback on this sort of new format. It's going to be ever evolving. It's going to be ever changing. So let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, and hopefully next time I see it, I'll have less of a distinctive tash and chin line.
Right, who's going to be good to go on Friday?
Me. No, yes, me.
I should be, but I'll let you know.
John Ua?
Pending.
Letdowns. Absolute letdowns. Well, as you know, I can't recall the absolute perfect saying, but vaping is the future. Vaping saves lives. Fuck that up completely. What's the saying?
Yep.
Smoking is just dead.
Smoking is dead. Vaping is future, and the future is now.
Don't just live life.
And I've got dry knuckles, bro. Have a good week. We'll see you on Friday.
VTUK.